Welcome to a brand new episode of Mission Park Cares.
Yes, and we always try to do our best to bring good news about great things right here in San Antonio, Texas.
Today we're going to get some good advice on how to beat inflation and save lots of money.
And we're going to bring you the inside story of a man who devoted his life to build the city into the city it is today.
We'll introduce you to a member of the Spurs who's been with the team for over 40 years.
And then we're going to go to a place that started as a sewing school and turned into a career-creating college right here in San Antonio, Texas.
So right now, let me introduce you to a man with some great ways to make your money go farther. We're here at the Bank of San Antonio with our dear friend Bruce Bugg. How are you today?
Kristen, it's great to have you at the Bank of San Antonio. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. You know what? Tell us what inspired you to start this bank.
What inspired me to start the Bank of San Antonio is probably much like what you inspire people every day with Mission Park Funeral Homes, and that is, it's all about relationships and caring for those relationships. Something that we have in common is that we have kind of a servant heart. We want to serve other people. You and your husband, Dick Tips, do a great job in serving other people in the San Antonio community. The whole idea of the Bank of San Antonio and what really differentiates the Bank of San Antonio is it really goes back to how can we best serve people that we would like to serve. So we say that the Bank of San Antonio is locally owned, it's locally managed, and we make local decisions. And we serve the locally owned businesses of San Antonio.
So Bruce, if someone doesn't have a business and they're just starting out in life, or they're a college student, they need to get a bank account, can individuals be a customer or become family here at the Bank of San Antonio?
Absolutely, absolutely. We follow all of our customers and their family needs, from children to the parents to anybody in the family that needs anything. We not only have a full array of banking services like deposits, we lead with treasury management. We make commercial loans, we make business and industrial loans, and we offer wealth management services at the Bank of San Antonio. We also have our own insurance company, so we offer insurance through the Bank of San Antonio Insurance Company. And we also have a mortgage operation. It's called Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Anything that deals with a financial need, we can serve that. Big or small, we're here for you, whatever it takes.
We're all hearing about inflation.
Right.
What do everyday people need to know about inflation and what it really means?
Everything that we use in our everyday life have gone up because of inflation. And this is a new generation that has not seen the actual impact of inflation. So what do you do about that? Well, you need to learn to basically live with the money that you have. Don't spend beyond your means, but spend the money you have. Try to be careful about your purchases and stretch that money as far as you can stretch it, both in paying the gas bill and in paying the grocery bill, paying the rent, whatever that might be. I always encourage people to have, I call it a reserve cash account, so that just times like this where you're not really planning on inflation, it just kind of came upon us. But if you don't have it, you can start it today. And I would encourage everyone to have a rainy day fund of their own.
Another word that we're hearing a lot of is recession. I mean, tell us about that, and also how can people save their money? Where should they put their savings?
Recession will mean different things to different people. I question whether we're even in a recession right now, even though we did have 2 consecutive quarters of negative prints on the GDP, which is the technical definition of a recession. We have very high employment in the United States. We have very low unemployment. A recession like what we're facing right now is something we can almost talk ourselves into. The mind is a very strong part of our body. I always encourage people to, there's something good in everything. And don't talk yourself into that we've got, we're going to have all these financial downdrafts and everything's going to be very dark. I just don't think it's going to be there. we might have a technical recession. You do need to watch the money that you're spending. You do need to save money to have financial resources for you and your family. But don't talk yourself into something that isn't necessarily going to happen.
This is all such great advice. So if people want to become part of this bank, how do they find the bank?
You and I are at our headquarters building, and we're at 1900 Northwest Loop 410, and we would be delighted and honored to have any of your friends come and visit us here at the Bank of San Antonio. We will come to you. So if any of your friends would like to contact me or any of us here at the Bank of San Antonio, we'll make arrangements. We'll actually come and visit you in your home or your place of business.
That's just wonderful. We're really lucky to have a bank like this in San Antonio.
Well, thank you. We're lucky to have people like you and your husband, Dick.
Thank you. Dick, you paid a visit to a very famous school. Will you tell us about that?
I'll do even better. I'm going to take you to St. Phillips College. Let's go. You know, I'm here with Dr. Adina Lawson, if I hope I said that correctly.
Lawson, yes.
Lawson, thank you very much for helping me with that.
Okay.
And what an exciting day it is for me to be here at St. Phillips College. And I've got to ask you this question, Doctor. Now, where and why and when did St. Phillips start? Help me with that.
Oh, I'm happy to help you with that. St. Phillips started in 1898, actually as a sewing school for black girls coming out of slavery, founded by the Episcopal Church, the Black Episcopal Church, St. Phillips Episcopal Church. They approached the Diocesan Council, the West Texas Diocesan Council, and they wanted to start St. Phillips Episcopal Church in 1895. The church was so focused on creating educational opportunities for black girls coming out of slavery that they established a Saturday evening sewing school. And that Saturday evening sewing school grew to an elementary school, a grammar school, a vocational school, an industrial school, and then a college.
Oh my word. Well, Doctor, can you tell me then where was the first school? If it was here in San Antonio, I assume it was, correct?
Guess where? It was actually down at La Villita.
Oh, La Villita.
There is the little church of La Villita.
Yes, ma'am.
Right next door to it is a pottery shop. That pottery shop was the first home of St. Phillips College.
Oh my word.
And then in 1917, we moved on up to the east side, and we've been here since 1917.
Dr. Lawson, tell me a little bit about being a historically black college, and I'm not sure about the Hispanic community and how all that works, but help me with that.
I am so happy because that is a national conversation now. When we're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and making sure that everybody's represented, everybody's celebrated and valued for their contributions, well, we've been doing that. St. Phillips was established as an historically black college. We're no longer predominantly black, but yet we will always be historically black because we were for blacks in the beginning. And then ultimately we evolved for Hispanics. We live in San Antonio.
Right.
So that designation says if you're at least 25% of one population, then you're worthy of receiving that White House dual designation as well. So we carry the dual designation from the White House, being an historically black college and an HSI, an Hispanic serving institution. We celebrate everybody here. Our goal is to make sure when they leave us, they're leaving with marketable skills and leadership, because that was the original goal from Artemisia Bowden, our founding president.
Well, this has been amazing for me to be here with you today and to know more about St. Phillips College. All of San Antonio, even though they know St. Phillips College, needs to know more.
You know, I've been here now 15 years. I cannot believe it's been 15 years. St. Phillips is celebrating 124 years of existence. So we've got, next year we'll be celebrating 125 years, and that will be a grand celebration, I promise you.
Your second century of being a wonderful place for all of us to enjoy every part of life that I can see so far.
I'll just say, come on over to the east side. We are the jewel of the east side, as Ruth Jones McClendon would say, and then get to enjoy all that we have to offer. At St. Phillips College for 124 years, we have never sent out a rejection letter. Everybody is welcome. You know, some institutions you get in, you might, maybe not. We take the masses of humanity. Everyone is welcome. There is a place for you at St. Phillips College. And regardless of what your career goal is, prepared or not, even if you have a career goal that you're not quite prepared for, we give you the career ladder to get you to that goal. So that's what's happening here at St. Phillips College. That's what's going to continue to happen. It's a part of our original ethos. We started out as a sewing school for black girls coming out of slavery, students that were marginalized. So we continue to have safety nets and support systems for those students that might not be quite ready, but there's a place for them at St. Phillips College because we have the career ladder to get them to where they need to be.
You know, once in a great while, a person can make a huge difference in a city.
That's what happened with Tom Frost. His legacy lives forever at Mission Park, and here's his story.
Frost Bank has been a symbol of stability in San Antonio for more than 150 years. Multiple generations of the Frost family have grown the business, but few have made an impact on San Antonio quite like Thomas Claiborne Frost.
The reason I went out and worked was I realized the bank wouldn't grow and prosper without our doing things to help San Antonio grow.
Frost was born and raised in San Antonio in 1927, a young boy with big dreams.
When I was growing up, I wanted to be the usual things a young boy wants: a fireman, a policeman, a cowboy, all the good, exciting things. Banker wasn't one of them.
He graduated from Washington and Lee University, and after a short stint in the U.S. Army, he decided to join the family business.
I was told that we were in the people business, that we used finance to provide the service that people needed.
Frost started working in the mailroom, then became a savings teller. But his most valuable experience came south of the border, learning the banking business in Mexico while being immersed in the culture.
I got to learn not only about the banking system, but a little bit about the culture and the people of who a Mexican was and what they were interested in, what they did. And of course, it was really easy for me to translate that when I came back here.
In 1962, Tom Frost became the president of Frost Bank at the age of 34. He oversaw the merger with Houston-based Cullen Bankers and led Frost Bank through the Texas banking collapse of the 80s, all without taking any federal assistance. A testament to the bank's business model.
I've been taught that we were in the people business and that our real success is that we would grow and prosper building long-term relationships with individuals.
As much as Tom Frost valued his family business, he gave equal attention to his hometown. A board member of several San Antonio institutions, a visionary in developing a workforce training program, and a leader in the community that guided San Antonio into the future. From raising funds and providing a loan to keep Hemisphere 68 open.
We had everybody really working to build a fair, to build the tourism business here.
To providing a loan for a group of local investors trying to move the Spurs from Dallas to San Antonio.
And the Iceman is making a delivery.
Tom Frost has had a hand in the creation of the Medical Center, the Tobin Center, and the AT&T Center. He helped in the recruitment of Toyota to the city's south side and advocated for local education, from UTSA to the approval of a $483 million bond for SAISD.
And I think the important thing here is to work hard, be successful in what you do, and make your own way in life.
Frost retired as CEO from the bank in 1997, spent his remaining years with his family and supporting the development of Frost Bank in San Antonio, including the newest addition to the San Antonio skyline, the new Frost Bank Tower.
I think never before in the history of San Antonio have we undertaken such a significant project for the improvement of downtown San Antonio.
Tom Frost died in August 2018. He's buried at Mission Burial Park South. Tom Frost, a community leader, philanthropist, and forever remembered at Mission Park.
You have a friend that's been with the Spurs for more than 40 years. Will you introduce us to him?
I'd love to. So here's Art Barron. Good morning, and I'm with my dear friend Art Barron with Langley & Benak. Tell me a little bit about all the memorabilia I see, not only around your office, but also on your finger there. Tell me a little bit about that, please, sir.
Well, I've been working for the Spurs over 40 years. Got recruited back in the 70s by a fellow who was an active duty Air Force officer who was running the stat crew for the Spurs. And I said, Bob, I've got 2 little boys. I'm trying to build a practice. I really can't do that. He said, I'll give you as many tickets as you need, buy your dinner, whatever. So he talked me into it, and I've loved it, and I've been doing it ever since.
Now, Art, I'm going to ask you to show us that ring because it's just a little too big.
The ring is a result of the 2014 National Championship, and R.C. Buford decided that anybody who had been working for the Spurs for 40 years needed a ring about the size of the players' rings. And so I have one of these 3 rings, and I'm very proud of it, and I enjoy wearing it, and I enjoy telling people about it.
Art, when you're not working with the Spurs and you've got your legal hat on, what's the most common thing that people ask about doing some estate planning?
How can I pass my assets on to my beneficiaries without paying any estate tax? Right now, with the exemption being 11.7 million, it's not quite as important because not everybody has that kind of money. And they're concerned about paying any more than $1 or more to the U.S. government.
In the business that we're in, being in the cemetery and funeral home business, there's so many people that have not actually sat down and done any kind of estate planning. So what would you recommend just to get started, just so that it's not a scary thing for someone to do?
Well, I tell people, even young couples, especially young couples, the less you have, the more important it is to have some estate planning documents, whether it's a will or trust or both, but especially things that if you became incapacitated, somebody could step into your shoes and help you. And that would be a durable power of attorney for financial matters, a medical power of attorney, a directive to physicians to tell the doctors when to pull the plug, and a HIPAA release form that if you go to a hospital or wherever, healthcare facility, you'd be able to get your medical information to your relatives, to the people that you want to be able to check on you. And frankly, it's much more likely that you're going to be incapacitated than die. So those other documents are just as important, and maybe more important, than a will or a trust, which are only going to happen and take care of your assets when you die.
Art, could you tell us a little bit about the difference between a will and a power of attorney?
A will only comes into being once you're dead. So the only thing that's going to happen with a will is that once you pass away, it's going to be offered for probate, and when it is admitted to probate by a probate court judge, then it will pass your assets to whoever you say under the will. A power of attorney is only good while you're living. So if you become incapacitated, whether it's by illness or in a car wreck or whatever, somebody can step in your shoes and take care of your financial affairs, pay your bills, make sure that your ordinary expenses are paid while you're incapacitated. So the big difference is a power of attorney is good while you're living. A will is only good after you die.
Okay, Art, we have one final question for you, and we want to get a little inside information on how well the Spurs are going to do this year.
I'll have to tell you, you got a very, very young team. One night they look like champs, and the next night they look like a bunch of people you just pulled off the street.
But we still love them.
We still love them and always will.
I always will, that's for sure. Art, we want to thank you so much for your time today and the wisdom that you've given to us today. I mean, it is really priceless. So how do we get a hold of you down here at Langley & Benack?
Sure, Langley & Benack is a well-known law firm in San Antonio. You can get a hold of us by our website, which is www.langleybenack.com, or call us at our estate planning number, which is 210-731-8300, and we'd be happy to help.
Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
We certainly appreciate you. Take care. Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go.
You know, at Mission Park and Mission Park Cares, we want you to celebrate your loved one on a future episode of this program.
All you have to do is go to missionparks.com and upload a picture of that special someone who is no longer with us.
Hundreds and hundreds of families have been touched by these special tributes, and we encourage you to think about having your loved one celebrated on this show with us.
Thank you for joining us today on Mission Park Cares.
We love you, and we're always here when you need us.
Because at Mission Park, it's our mission to care.